Hey guys, Cinder Magic here, and I have got some of the first spoilers from Rivals of Ixalan. Now, we have seen a couple cards so far. Not really sure whatever happened to that Portuguese source, or why they were simultaneously leaked in two different languages from allegedly two different sources, like on the same day. That seems suspicious, but these are legit. They sent these to, you know what, I hate them so much, I'm not even going to say who. I don't want to give them the publicity. It's an exaggerating liberal trash rag with, clickbait headlines. So if you don't follow them very carefully, here's some spoilers on my channel. So here's number 1, Mythic Planeswalker, what's up, Angrath Minotaur Pirate. So I was really hoping he would be on a card because he was pretty cool in the story. Now he is trapped on Ixalan, like by accident, I guess. He was just caught up in the whole Planeswalk out suppression field one-way door turnstile thing. Now you might notice a couple things with this card, okay? First, this is way too high resolution, okay? Wizards does not leak this high resolution of cards. So how this accidentally ended up in their hands or purposely, I don't know what's going on, but somebody really screwed up. For anti-counterfeiting reasons, they do not allow this resolution of images to go out to anyone ever for any reason. I do not understand that. I mean, they didn't even watermark it. I don't understand this. Also, this card says on the bottom 201 out of 196. Yeah, this isn't Pokemon, so I don't remember them ever doing that, but apparently I just have a bad memory because I put this all together, the whole leaking of the high res and not caring about counterfeit, the negative 11 on the ability, the 6 cost for 5 loyalty. This has got to be the Planeswalker deck version. It just has to be. And so I looked up Jason Genius Mind Mage from the Ixalan Planeswalker deck, and yeah, he was 280 out of 279. So I didn't know that they did that, actually. I guess I just never looked at the number because I know that the card itself was not included in the original count. So there's actually more than there were. And then if you wanted to run a box EV, you had to work around that, and it was kind of a pain. So here's the cool thing. I mean, this is 201 out of 196. So it kind of makes you wonder what the rest are because like I said, Jace was 280 out of 279. That's pretty easy to do. So maybe there's a unique rare and then a unique uncommon or whatever in the Planeswalker deck and then times 2. And, there you go. So not much interesting information that we didn't already know. It's just fun to extrapolate, I guess. So let's look at the actual card, which, I mean, now knowing that it's a Planeswalker deck card, I wouldn't, get your hopes up here. All right, it's a 6 cost Planeswalker. Those in general are not typically all that playable because, I mean, if you drop it in and you're already losing by the time you're at 6, it ain't going to turn the game around. Not usually. Maybe a black base one that has removal. But compared to a 3 cost Planeswalker, you're not going to get to the ultimate loyalty within a reasonable amount of time because the game has already been going on so dang long, somebody's going to win at some point. So I don't really like that, but honestly, Planeswalker deck versus Planeswalker deck, it's probably appropriate because they're a little bit slower. They're designed that way. Anyway, it comes out with a miserable 5, but you're going to +2 him the turn he comes out, so it's really 7 loyalty for 6, I guess, sort of, not really. And he deals 1 damage. Woo, slow down there, Sparky. 1 damage to target opponent and each creature that player controls. Wow, you might actually get rid of a token, I guess, maybe, if it's not a zombie. I mean, the unlimited, mass hits and it doesn't hit your creatures, that's cool. But I don't know. I mean, hitting the player for 1, that's kind of cool, and it's a plus. It's passable. It's not great, but it's, it's all right. I mean, the real big one there is that it affects their blocking decision. So if you do this first main phase and everybody took 1 damage, then you swing, it's almost like they have 1 less toughness. Or all of your creatures have +1 attack, just not when they hit the opponent. So it's going to make things a little lopsided. So that's kind of interesting. The -3 you can't do twice in a row, so it's probably pretty good. Just kidding. Return target pirate card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's one of those free res things where it's implied, oh, cool, I'm bringing it back from the dead. But then in reality, you just stuff it with some overpowered 7 costs and bring it out for free. I mean, that's what returning stuff from the graveyard to the battlefield does. Unfortunately, as far as we know, there's no pirate card really worth doing that. I mean, it's not like some Eldrazi Titan class pirate, I think there's some pretty good 5 costs, and that's about it, but we'll see what they put in Rivals. That just doesn't really sound worth it for -3, especially if you drop him out solo and then that's what you're counting on to block for him. You do get the Pirate Tribal ETB, though, so it's not nothing. -11, which you're never, ever, ever going to get to. Although, okay, it would go 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, I guess, like 2 turns after you bring them out, and then the next turn after that you could use it and destroy them, whatever. Destroy all creatures target opponent controls, and then he deals damage to that player equal to their total power. Okay, that is like game ending. So that is appropriately distant, being, okay, turn 1, you're 7. That's the turn he came out. Then increment 1 turn cycle, you're at 9. Increment a turn cycle, you're at 11. And then the next turn cycle, you win the game. That is an appropriate amount of turns. So overall, I mean, I almost wish he was 4 loyalty for 5. He'd be way more playable, but he's not bad. Not bad for a planeswalker, from a planeswalker deck. All right, there's a bunch more. Let's check it out. We got Angrass Ambusher, which is 202 out of 196. I really should have looked at these ahead of time, because then I would have realized that, yeah, this is obviously the custom card. But then again, it's 202, so it makes you wonder what the lower cards are. So Angrass Ambusher gets +2/+0 as long as you control an Angrath planeswalker. I mean, a 4/3 for 4 in black, I guess, is kind of good. Whatever. You can bring him out early, and he's not a very good card. And then if you chump him and he's in the graveyard, you can bring him back by wasting 3 loyalty. I don't know. This is dumb. Next up, we got Angrath's Fury. It's 204 out of 196, so it appears to be another unique card from the Planeswalker deck. It's a 5-cost split-color sorcery, so once again, doesn't look that great, but we'll see. This is probably the fetcher, if I had to guess. Yeah, it is. Destroy target creature, so that's cool, I guess. Angrath's Fury deals 3 damage to target player, so this is pretty much unlicensed disintegration. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Angrath Minotaur Pirate, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So destroy something, deal some damage, and then go get them. I mean, this is actually really good. I mean, it's appropriate for that deck. Now, it's power and standard and constructed, I don't know, but it's a good card. Like in that one specific case, I guess. Next up, we're back to full res for God knows what reason. Cinder Barons. Because this hasn't been printed enough. Wow, what a great spoiler. These cards will always be legal, always. Like, from now until forever. They come in tapped and tap for 2 colors. Now, apparently Cinder Barons has only been printed 4 times, but I think it goes by, like, other names, like Smoldering something. I don't frickin' remember. Just these tap dual lands, they're kind of trying to make them a thing with, like, the welcome decks, I guess. And they're kind of throwing them into certain sets just to be like, okay, if you want to cheap out and not pay the ridiculous price for rare dual lands, which is a perpetual problem in Magic, then just throw these in and do a little bit worse, play a turn behind. Because playing an entire turn behind in Magic is never lethal. So, snooze fest there. We've got Suede Goblin. Just kidding, I wish. Swab Goblin. Which actually, that sounds like an unset parody of Hobgoblin. So, a little bit of comedy there. This one's just the most exciting spoiler. I'd be honored if they sent me this spoiler. It's a 2/2 for 2. The end. Also, it's not as funny looking as those like real fluffy blue monkey pirates. I don't know why this one's so tall and humanoid looking. I preferred the ones on the canon card. They were way better. Oh, you know what? I should check this. 203 out of 196. So this is not supposed to be a standard set card. Next up, 198 out of 196. We're close. It's almost a card that's really going to be in the set. Almost. Vampire Champion, or as I like to call it, Vampion. Oh, look, Wizard's made her a female. This is my surprise face. Anyway, it's a 4-cost 3/3 with Death Touch, so it already sucks. Oh, and that's it. That's flavor text. That's all it does. This card sucks. 1/1 Death Touchers are all you ever need. Or like a 1/5. I mean, the toughness is important. The attack power on a Death Toucher, not important. I mean, I guess if you swing with it and they let it through because it has Death Touch, then you want it to do as much damage as possible. But that's not usually how Death Touchers are used. They're dirt cheap, they're roadblocks, and they're just piddly little damage that people let through. You're not going to have like a 5/5 Death Toucher for 6. That is utterly pointless because with or without Death Touch, it would have killed whatever it ran into. So what's the point? So absolute waste of a card, but not really because it's 198 out of 196, so it's clearly not in the actual set. Should I just title this almost spoilers? Because that's what it is. Next up, we have a res reduced card. I don't know why some of these are high res and why some of them are low. We've got Frasca Scheming Gorgon. Oh, look, a 6-cost for 5. I wonder if this is the real Frasca. I mean, on the flip side, we get an affordable Frasca. 197 out of 196. So, are they trying to say that this is going to be red-black versus black? Like, is that really where they're going with the Planeswalker decks? Because that would actually be pretty cool. I mean, if people are like, I'm a blue player, well, screw you. But that's kind of what it is. I mean, usually it's 2 color versus 2 colors, so they're going to leave something out anyway. But, like, mixed with black and then mono black. That just seems odd, but that seems to be where they're going with this. Very strange. So it's a typical, comes out for 5, +2, -3, and then 10. So at least 3 turns later she'll survive it. Whatever. So creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn for +2. That's actually pretty good. I mean, like, as a spell, that would be, like, you know, give them first strike, give them lifelink, or protect them, hexproof, something, you know. But as a recurring ability on a planeswalker that also makes her go up in loyalty, that's pretty good. I mean, that could really affect combat. Just think about it. You got 5 creatures on the field. That's 5 extra damage. So that's not bad. -3, straight up destroy target creature. I mean, that's a classic. That's classic black planeswalker right there. So, I mean, yeah, it's 3, but it should be. If it was 2, she could just do it twice in a row just like that, which would be just idiotic. I mean, 2 turns in a row, 2 free kill spells, and then after that, they still have a 1 loyalty planeswalker building itself back up that they have to deal with, and the biggest threats are gone, and you're boosting your creatures now? I mean, wow, that ain't no joke regardless. So, -10 here. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain death touch. Woo. And whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, that player loses the game. Oh, welcome to old school Frasca. That ain't far off from what the original did. I believe she created 2 assassin tokens. I think they're 1/1s, maybe a little bit bigger. And when they hit the opponent, like, that opponent loses the game or whatever. So her -10 absolutely unequivocally wins the game, because if they have 4 blockers and you have 5 creatures, you win. If you have 3 creatures and they have 5 blockers, they just lost 3 creatures because they gained death touch. And then honestly, I mean, it's not like she could -3 right after that, but if you had any kind of way to come back from that, oh man. So, I mean, I guess you'd almost have to have numbers, or it'd have to be dead equal and you have a way to come back from it. Or, I don't know, you can make your creatures indestructible or something. So it's a little codependent, but if you have more creatures than them, you just won. I mean, simple as that, unless they have a spell to stop you. So that is actually pretty darn good. I mean, I don't like the 5 loyalty for 6. That is obviously the big drawback. That's the, okay, let's bring her back down to earth here. But if somebody was playing this, I mean, I'd be a little bit scared. It's just 6 mana, and then you got to build up to 10. But I do like removal on a stick. I mean, it can only be used once, and then you got to charge her back up. But, you know, whatever. It's still not that bad. So, moderately playable, but appropriately costed Planeswalker deck Planeswalkers. I mean, that's kind of cool. I could get into that. Next up, we're going into the Frasca cards here. We got Rascals Conquistador, who is male, but that's probably because, oh, look, he's menacing, and ooh, like, he crushed something. Ooh, because males are all violent and testosterone. Ooh. If you think I'm reading too much into it, damn right I am. It's called sarcasm. Okay, in this particular case, it's like parody/satire, but anyway. Whenever Rascals Conquistador attacks or blocks, if you control a Frasca Planeswalker, target player or opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's actually pretty good for a 2/1 for 2. I mean, that's not bad. And next up, we got Rascals Corn, which is likely the fetcher here. We got a 4-cost sorcery. Target opponent loses 4 life. Nice. You may search your library for Frasca and put it in your hand and then shuffle. So, honestly, the spell is just for 4 sorcery. They could at least let you gain the life. I mean, it's like a static non-X version of Drain Life or whatever, but I don't know, whatever. At least you get to go get Frasca. So the spell does practically nothing, but and if you're casting it, you probably need Frasca to like win the game, or you want her out, or you think the game will go on long enough to make her beneficial. So, like, why are you trying to hit him for 4? If Frasca generated tokens, you know, like pirate tokens, that would make sense because you're hitting them, and then okay, I'm gonna rush them with creatures now. So pretty weak. I thought it would be a destruction spell, but I guess they already did that for Angrath. So that's about it for now. I mean, it's basically, as far as I can tell, 100% cards from the Planeswalker decks, but what do you think of the colors? I mean, that's really the biggest thing to come out of this, the colors. It's going to be mono black versus black red. That's just so weird. And the $1,000,000 question is, without seeing anything else in it, which is basically going to be like Angrath and just whatever blah, removal, burn, you know, rush, creatures, whatever, probably, versus Frasca, pirates, and probably some kind of pirate tribal synergy thing. Do you want to buy it then? Do you think it's a good base for a deck? Which, I mean, I'm leaning towards, yeah, I'd like to see the list, but it's possible. And most importantly, what do you think of their value? I mean, I think people find a way to play it. I think in Commander, they're very, very, very deadly, especially Frasca. I think they're going to float in above the $5 mark. It's very, very likely. That has the potential. So that's it for the spoilers for now. Check out my last video about the spoilers if you want to see what the Immortal Sun actually is on the card. That was leaked, ruining any kind of surprise or storyline or anything. Thanks, I don't know, Portugal, Brazil, whatever. And I'll see you guys next video.